what is HEX, go to hex.com or pumpamentals.com if you want a bonus. Admire you and your intelligence. Can you explain the relationship to share price and total shares available? You did this before, but I didn't catch it. So share price is only changing when a new highest, so when you end your stake, the system wants to make sure that you can't restake and get more shares than what you originally had. So you can never recompound outside the system. You'll always get less. In order to do that, it raises the share price to cancel out any profit you just got. So if you stake and you end your stake and you got a whole ton of profit, the system is going to raise the share price to make sure that you, if you restaked, could not possibly get more shares. So profit inputs to individual stakers raise the share price when those stakers end their stakes. Currently, the share price started at 1.05, went down to 0.62, and then went up to, I'm sorry, that's wrong. That was the profit per share per day. I think the share price started at like 1 hex per share or something. But I don't remember. It might use some like inflated, very big number to maintain resolution for division because it's using integer math, which is a requisite of being an Ethereum thing. The share price started at 1. Now it's like 1.07. It's estimated to be 1.1 near the big payday, just before it. This is using the math off of hexinfo.io that charts the share price. So the share price itself has absolutely no relationship to the total number of shares whatsoever. The total shares exist based on people staking. So if you stake, you get shares. If you stake longer, you get more shares. That's it. So bigger, and if you have 100 hex, you stake it, you would divide by the share price, which is like 1.07 right now. So you'd get like, 6% less shares or whatever. However, if you had more hex, you'd get more shares. If you staked your hex longer, you'd get more shares. If you staked your hex larger, up to 150 million in that particular share, you'd max out the bigger pays better bonus. So you can max out longer pays better with a 3,641 day stake, and you can max out bigger pays better with 150 million hex stake. And if you max them out both at the same time, then you're getting the absolute maximum number of shares that you could at that time. Now, had you done that same thing earlier, you would have got more because the share price would have been lower at that time. So now what good are shares? Shares are how all of the profit in the system is divided. It's similar to hash rate in Bitcoin. So if you're a Bitcoin miner, you have more hash rate, you get more of the block rewards. If you're a hex staker and you have more shares, you get more of the early end stake penalties, late end stake penalties, and inflation, and the big payday on November 19th. So the shares become more rare than the hex because it costs more and more hex to generate the shares, and the price keeps going up. And the price will skyrocket on November 19th after the day ticks over and the first person tries to get out with their rewards, their profit. That will amplify their earnings, and then those amplified earnings will force the share price to increase. And then anyone that wants to try and have shares after that has to pay a much higher share price. And so in effect, it's how the compounding interest is created for the earlier people. So the earlier people's interest in the system is defended from new people by new people always having to pay a higher price. Always. The share price never goes down. It's not possible. It can only go up.